Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. It is a good day, and we're blessed to see another day, and I'm grateful to God for the same. Well, welcome to the platform of Project 365, where we are here to render hope, encouragement, and inspiration. Well, I am Portia Wheatley. I am the founder and the president of a nonprofit organization acknowledged as Trophy of Life Incorporated. And that is the vision of Trophy of Life. That is to bring hope, encouragement, and inspiration to the whole wide world. We're putting it out there. We're bringing it to the whole wide world. Yes, us, you and I. So at this moment, let's bring in my co-host.
Hello, everyone. My name is Takira Swan. I am so happy to be here, and I hope you all are having a great week so far.
Thank you. And look, you know what? I am. Today is what, Thursday? Oh,
Yes.
yes. Definitely having a good day and a good week. And thank you for that because we are having that. And we're going to hold on to it for tomorrow and the next day and the next day. We will bring in our guests momentarily, but I just want to have you, don't forget to go to our YouTube channel and subscribe, even share this particular segment, and also comment. And what else we want you to do? Like it and all of that, because we have a message to share, a message of hope, encouragement, and inspiration. And we're grateful to God that we have accepted that assignment. And today I have a guest who is, matter of fact, we only knew each other. We've only known rather each other for a few months now, maybe not even a year, but we met at a food giveaway. And this particular food giveaway, it was just a little chaotic. And, some people get a little, get a little stressed or whatever. And then walking around, I mean, we were cool, calm, and collected. But, we're walking around, and then I ran into Kacy, and she was so upbeat and positive and all of that. And then all of a sudden, it's like we connected. We connected. And it's just something about finding people or coming in contact with people who are just positive, positive statements and a positive personality. You can have a positive personality. And it was just something about Kacy that we connected. And I'm grateful to God that we did. While I was meeting Kacy, I noticed one of her, how she was physically challenged. To me, it was physically challenging. To her, it was like, girl, please. And it's amazing how we connected in the sense of my mind is always going on, how can we bring hope and encourage other people? And today we want to bring hope and encouragement to individuals who may be physically challenged, uh, only because they're not necessarily built like we are built. And what we just think, oh, that's just another thing that I do, whether with my hands, with my feet, with my arms, or whatever. And sometimes we actually take it for granted. But today, it is a disease that Kacy has been affected with. And that disease, that name has such a long name to it. I'm not going to try to attempt to pronounce it. So I'm going to leave that to her. But I want to introduce to some and present to others none other than Kacy Leach. And she is going to share with us her strength, her what she's dealing with, and how she got through it. It's just amazing. And I'm here to hear, listen, to care, and to love on you. All right, Kacy, take it away.
Welcome, everybody. I'm so honored to be here. And I'm so glad you and I met. I always feel like God brings us to the people that we are supposed to be with and surrounded by and like minded people. And sometimes it's not like minded people. And then God gives us the courage to influence. Like Portia said, my name is Kacy. I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a pastor, and I'm a volunteer for an area nonprofit. But that's just some of my story. I was born 53 years ago to 19-year-old parents. I had a normal pregnancy. At birth, I got stuck in the birth canal because I was bigger than the average baby. I was 9 pounds, 14 ounces. And they had to break my collarbones because back then they didn't do the things like they do now. Basically, they knocked my mom out and broke my collarbones and got me out. Well, in that process, like they do with most people, they were removing the afterbirth, which on me was not afterbirth. Um, and they found that I was born with a skin condition. My skin condition is called epidermolytic hyperkeratosis. And when I teach children about my skin, I kind of joke it's like supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, but means totally different things. But in English, ichthyosis, my skin condition is a form of ichthyosis. Ichthyosis is a broad name, and there's 27 types. And my type is referred to as EI now because it's easier than saying epidermolytic hyperkeratosis. But let me stop there. I am Kacy. I am not epidermolytic hyperkeratosis. It is something that I was born with. We all have things that we were born with that are out of our control, whether it be the color of our skin, the type of skin, how we walk, the color of our hair, whatever it is. But God has taught me through my 53 years and the love of a Nana who like kind of took over my care when I was born with this thing that nobody knew what it was at that time. It wasn't given a name till I was 12. But she always resonated constantly in me that God made me on purpose with a purpose for a purpose. And that was every day of my life, even in the bad, constantly remind me God made you on purpose with a purpose for a purpose. And through my life, and even through the trials of my life, she would resonate that and tell me I needed to plug into God to figure out what He wanted from me in this. In that moment, as like I said, I was born with my skin condition. It wasn't given a name till I was 12. A lot of preventative stuff was done because they didn't know about my skin. One of the things they told my parents was don't let her fall down and get hurt. They put me on preventative antibiotics my whole life because they didn't know what would happen if I got an infection with my skin. I was a tomboy, and sitting down and being careful wasn't in my realm of thinking as a child. I like to jump off stairs, climb trees, things like that. And through the injuries, they found that my skin healed fast. So part of my skin condition is that my skin grows 400 times faster than yours. And my keratin level of my skin is damaged. So all of our skin peels off. So the ring around your tub, the dust in your house, that's your dead skin. It's just the process of living. Mine does not. Mine adheres and holds on to itself. So go back to my skin grows 400 times faster and it doesn't slough off like the normal person's skin. So my skin builds up. I have a red hue to my skin. People think I've been burned or whatever, what have you. It's because my skin grows so fast. Anything in our body that grows fast, a tumor, anything, blood goes to it to help it. Well, just like that, my skin grows fast. So blood goes to my skin to help my skin because it's growing so quickly. I have learned in my life that if I get hurt, I don't scar like most people because my skin regenerates so fast. Scar tissue doesn't have time to form. My When I've had stitches, they don't stay in as long. We learned this the hard way when I had 3 10-pound children of my own and had C-sections and had to argue with the doctors to take the stitches out before 10 days or you'd be looking for them. But my skin grows extra fast. And I don't have enough moisture in my skin, obviously, because it grows so fast. I don't have enough hydration in my skin. So I constantly have to hydrate. There are other types of ichthyosis that have other characteristics that can be more severe. I am blessed by what I have, but in my childhood and growing up, as most people know, people are cruel. And I dealt with a lot of cruelty in my life. Again, my Nana was like this pivotal person that kept me grounded. And I thank the Lord for her every day. I had a pivotal moment in my life though in middle school. I was living with my Nana and I had a field trip and we were packing the lunch. You know how you used to pack the lunch, you take your drink and your dessert or whatever. And we went to High's to get a drink because I didn't have anything to take for a drink. And I shouldn't have said the name of the store, but I just did. And I went into the store and the owner kicked me out. He made a scene and kicked me out because I was contagious and I did not belong in public and I should get out of his store. And he made a holy scene. And this turned into me going to school, not getting out of the car because this man had embarrassed me and made a scene. Administrators had to come get me out of the car. And this day I will remember for the rest of my life. By the time I came home, my Nana, obviously the person didn't have a job anymore. But my grandmother sat me down and she's like, this is the time I need to tell you, you need to stop letting your skin define who you are. and you need to define what it is in your life, because God made you to do that. So that was when I was 12 in middle school. So I learned my voice and defined it then. When I was little, before that point, I was very shy and you could do whatever you wanted to me. I had bullies that picked on me constantly. It was the same people. And I guess I was a target because I let it happen. At that moment, it was a pivotal moment and I found my voice. And I think that's what God created me for, is to not be the quiet little meek person. But I stand out anyway. I'm memorable because of my skin. People don't forget me very easily. So God has given me the ability to communicate, and I now communicate for everyone. As Portia was saying, I was at a food pickup. I work with the homeless in the area where I live, and through my own struggles and the things I've dealt with, now I support our homeless friends, because just like me, people often judge me by first glance. Portia saw there was something going on. She was sweet about it, but most people don't say sweet things. They say not kind things, even as an adult. As a child, like I said, I would let it happen. Not so much anymore. And being a pastor, though, you can do things in love and not have to be cruel to respond to people being cruel to you. And God has taught me that in my life, through encouragement and positivity, that you can teach people. Now, don't get me wrong. If somebody's coming at me and they're being completely unfair, I don't let them be unfair. My husband tells the best story where I live. I live in Maryland. I live in Ellicott City, at the Walmart right by my house. I was in there one day and a lady came up to me on the precedence of being a nurse. And she wanted to give me information on how unwise it was to allow myself to get this sunburn. And she proceeded to give me a dissertation on sunburn and setting myself up for skin cancer. My husband was with me and he was over my shoulder, and I could hear him behind me going, "Lady, please stop talking. Oh, lady, please don't. Oh, you don't know what you're doing. You're about to open it up." She and my husband just kept saying this behind my ear, and I remember it to this day. And when she was finished, I let her finish, and then I educated her. And first, that she gave unsolicited medical advice in the middle of a public place, and that was against HIPAA, first of all. And second of all, she had no earthly idea what she was talking about. And then I taught her about ichthyosis. And then I told her I would be calling her hospital, which she told me where she worked, because they needed more sensitivity training because they didn't handle themselves right in public. That's how I handled it. I could have cussed her out, but that's not what God wanted from me. God wanted me to take that moment and show her that, yes, we can have our opinions and we can look at things. It's just how we present them. And people deserve kindness and love, regardless of our appearance and what we look like. So that's that little story. And here, I don't want to give you the impression like my life was hard as a child, and as an adult, my life has been hard too. The main thing Portia saw, and I don't know if you can see it with my hands, I have half of my fingers. Um, and often people kind of assume that that limits me, but I don't allow it to limit me. I'm a doer. And I don't know if you've ever heard of strength finders, and my strengths with strength finders, my number one thing is woo, which means you win others over. So I see people and it excites me. And that's how God made me, that I can be in a crowded room and I want everybody to be my friend before I leave that room. You would think I counsel people with my skin, and 9 times out of 10, people with my skin, they hide. They don't go into public places because they're afraid of ridicule. And God has created me to be this person that I'm like, bring it, let's go. Like, come on, like, we
Show
can be
your
friends.
hands. Let's see your hands again.
So I have, this is my right hand, which was my dominant hand. And in 2005, I had 4 fingers amputated. And this is my left hand, which is now my hand I use. And I'm missing my little finger on this hand. In 2003, I started a problem with it's banding of my fingers. And it was something to do with my skin. And they don't know why it happens because it's not common. I was a teacher at the time. I went into the hospital in December for what I thought was going to be one surgery to release the banding on these fingers because I was having pain. And part of the reason I realized it was I was asking for help, and I don't ask for help very well. I'm pretty independent. And I realized that I was in so much pain that I was asking people to help me with a lot of things. So I went to Union Memorial, to the hand center, and they said they needed to release these fingers. Well, in December of 2003, that started a process of surgeries that for December of 2003 to May of 2013, I had 31 operations on my hands.
Wow.
Trying to save my fingers. And they did many things. I had skin grafts. I had all kinds of things tried. I had stable this finger here. If you see it's bent, this had a really bad one. And part of the issue when they did the first surgery, they went in and they thought it was just a matter of releasing the skin and the tissue, and that would fix the problem. Well, it had been that way so long that the bones had spindled. My bones had changed. So this finger here, one of the last surgeries I had is they put a pediatric stabilization. They broke it and put a pin in it to try to straighten it, and it didn't work. But now I take a medication, thank the Lord, that is helping it not happen. The medicine is kind of scary though because it causes a lot of side effects. And if I stop taking it, the problem comes right back with my fingers. So I'm kind of in this catch 22 where I have to take this medication. But at the same time, I supplement. I take about 15 medicines a day, and of the 15, 11 of them are vitamins, and the rest are prescription medications because I want to counter what the medicine is doing to me. So instead of just sitting down and saying, hey, okay, this medicine's awful and it's going to destroy me, I'm like, no, how do I counter the things that this medicine is going to do? So I found healthy things that counter the high triglycerides, the fatty liver, all those things. And I found supplements and things that fixed it. And basically, my last appointment, my doctor's like, whatever you're doing, just keep doing it because it's working. So it's working really well. So that's me and the positivity of things. I don't know, looking at the negative, God brings me to this place. I'm not going to say I don't have a bad day. Don't get me wrong. Anybody, don't look at me and think that every day is perfect because some days my skin hurts. Some days when it's so cold, I get fissures and cracks in my skin because like I can hydrate away. If you ever around me and you need lotion, you know, if you have Kacy, you're getting lotion because I got lotion everywhere. But sometimes that doesn't even help. And I have pain sometimes. And some days are tough. Um, and, but I get through it because God is good and he helps me get through every single solitary day. As I tell people all the time, I do counseling with people and I tell them, I said, you know, it's okay to go there. Just don't get stuck. Don't stay long. Have a pity party for a second and then move on because again, God made you on purpose for a purpose with a purpose. And it's not to get stuck in that deep place because that's another entity that's not God that wants us in that deep place. So that's me in a nutshell. And as I've moved forward in my positivity in high school, I married the captain of the football team. We've been married. Our anniversary was this past weekend. We've been married 28 years, but together 36. We have three amazing sons. They're 27, 25, and 20. And the blessing is they don't have my skin condition. My skin condition is typically a recessive thing, but in my case, it's a mutation. I do have a brother with it, and his children don't have it either. He has three children. And like I said, I just had my first grandchild was born. I earned the name of Nana on January 21st, and I have my sweet grandson that I'm so excited. So as a little girl, all I ever prayed to God was let me be a mommy, a wife, a mommy, and grandma someday. And I've done it.
That's
And I love
amazing.
every second.
So amazing. And what I would love, I thank you for all of that information.
Okay.
I really do.
Mhm.
What I would love for you to do, because this platform is so strategic,
Uh-huh.
and I would love for you to just, as a testimonial, hold your hands and then speak to individuals who are experiencing that condition, or even if it's not that condition, it would be something, similar to it, where they actually may not be able to handle it, or their parents may want to push them to the side. What words of encouragement would you have for them?
First of all, you are valuable. We are all valuable, no matter how we look or how we do things. Sometimes in life, we have to find different ways to do the things that we call normal. What is normal? I've told people many times, I'm like, I like standing out and being different. I like looking different. Imagine a world where we all look the same. It would be boring. It would be no fun. Our God is incredible though, and he does what he does on purpose. Like he makes us the way we are. Do we have struggles? Absolutely. He has never promised us a life of promised land and perfection. It's not. It's a hard life, and that's okay. It's okay to have a bad day. It's okay to not like something, but don't stay there because God has you here for a reason. And you just got to figure it out. And does that reason come right away? Absolutely not. As a young adult, when I was 20 years old, I had no earthly idea. what? And I started doing a public speaking thing where I talk to people and children about disabilities. Because I've always been, when I had my fingers amputated in 2005, they put me in a rehab hospital for a week. They sent me home the same day. And they were like, basically by the end, they're like, well, what do you need to know how to do? And I was like, I don't know, figure it out. And they're like, if everybody had that attitude, there wouldn't be rehab hospitals because people would figure it out. And part of it is don't care what people think. People right now, we live in a world where people think they have the right to share their opinion, and we take it so personally. I've always taught my kids growing up that we need to look at each other with different eyes. Look at beauty. Um, I showed you yesterday a picture. My husband, my beautiful husband, is African American. His family is huge, and they love me, and I'm not treated any differently. I love my family with every ounce of my being. Um, and I love the difference. I love difference. It's that unique ability to be who we are. So if you're experiencing your hands, it's just one thing. It won't last forever, I promise. Trust me, when I had 31 surgeries back to back, every 3 months I had an operation. They hurt. Trust me. There were days that I was like, I can't do this anymore. But yes, you can. Yes, you can. Just stay in that moment for a second. It won't be forever. It won't be, I promise. So just get through it. And if you feel alone, don't be. Find somebody you can talk to. I'll talk to you. Talk to somebody. There's people out there like me who love to encourage without judgment, and there's no reason to judge. Our jobs are to love, period. So that would be my word. Don't stay there. It's okay, and it'll be okay. I promise. Not every day is great, but it will be great. It
That's
will be great.
good.
I promise.
That's good. That is great. That is great. It's amazing. Rather than to always focus on the negative of someone, find something good to say.
Right.
Find it. It's there. And I love what you said about being born on purpose, with purpose, and for purpose.
Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
tell you, again, to our audience, anyone that you know is experiencing some type of disorder, one more time, Kacy, let me see the hands. Let me see your, that's your, it could be a conversation piece, but not to the negative, to the positive.
Right. I haven't let it stop me. I mean, I don't even think you know about this about me. I have been to Africa. I've been to Peru twice. I've been to St. Kitts twice doing mission work. Trust me, in the beginning, I didn't let myself go because I was like, what value do I have? What can I do? Because
Ooh.
missions trips are work. Missions trips are work. And I will tell you, in my trip to Africa, I was very concerned about what they would think of my skin. We went to a remote village 2 hours outside of Nairobi. And then again, what do I have to offer? Because we were digging trenches, we were doing all kinds of stuff. In my 12 days in Africa, I built relationships with the women of the community, the matriarch of the community. I got to build relationships for other people where maybe physically I can't do the same things, but emotionally, spiritually, and relationally, I'm really good at that. And it was amazing. And God spoke so loudly through those things. I went to Peru. I don't speak a lick of Spanish, y'all. I've been to Peru twice. And the second time I went, I was asked to go. I was asked to preach at a church. And there was other pastors on the trip. And I was like, why me? Why are you asking me? And now, of course, they were men and I was a woman. And I was like, why are you asking me to preach? And they're like, well, because you've been before, we know you, and we just think it'd be cool. Well, what they didn't tell me was I was going into a church where women aren't allowed to be in leadership. And they had this girl who can't speak a lick of Spanish stand up and preach in front of this really large congregation with a balcony, a bigger than typical church in Peru. And at the end, our missionary that was there that was supposed to translate with me left all the papers back at the house we were staying at. So he wasn't even ready to translate for me. So it became kind of this open translation. And it gives me chills just thinking about now.
It was
God was
God ordained. It
it,
was
it,
God
it
ordained.
was so cool because at the end I had all these women come up like to this altar call, but they were just sobbing. And my friend was there and I was like, tell me what they're saying. I don't understand what's going on. And it was because I was a woman and they felt like God was speaking to them through me because they want to lead in their church and aren't allowed. Well, the missionary is the one that asked me to preach. And he's like, that's why I did it. He's like, because I knew you would have a message. And my message was, we are individual and purposely made by God. And that was my whole sermon, is you are purposely made. And I went in there speaking this to this congregation. And at the end, like, it was amazing. So if you're sitting there and you're thinking, you can't do, or I have no value, you do. We just
You
have to
do.
figure
You
it out.
do.
And if it's not focusing on yourself, focus on someone else, and that'll help you. I tell people all the time, if you can't get out of the rut you're in, if you're feeling depressed or down because of your circumstances, go take care of somebody else. Go do something good for someone else. And that'll take your thoughts off yourself for a little bit and give you enough time to see a different perspective sometimes.
It's good.
And serve, just go serve. Love
Well, I
others.
tell you, that is amazing. And that is, God is definitely using you. And I pray that he continues to do that. And all at the same time, you're being blessed and you're blessing others. But Takira is going to come in. She's going to give us some closing statements. And again, thank you so very much for so graciously sharing. And look, your hands are a blessing. Show them to me.
I don't mind. I don't mind. I have a prosthetic that's in my bottom drawer of my dresser. It hasn't come out in about 10 years. It just hinders me. I'm faster without it.
Takira?
Well, what can you say after those encouraging words? As she said, that was wonderful. Your story is so inspiring. And I'm not just saying that, I really mean it. Wow, everything that you've overcome, your story really helps so many people with any type of condition, and even with any type of condition. And I know it takes bravery to just be, especially growing up, just be yourself and just exist. And I feel like, we shouldn't have to work so hard to just exist, to just be who you are. Because people are so mean, and mean kids grow up to be mean adults. I've learned that. But yeah, your words of encouragement really mean so much. And I hope anyone that's watching this can really see that there's a life beyond your condition, and that with the circumstance that the Lord has blessed you with, you can do so much more than if you were quote unquote normal or regular. It didn't have, anything going on. And I always find it really I always kind of give a special place in my heart to those who have conditions where they can't be hidden. So, it's like, oh, someone can have, I don't know, a tumor or anything, something really serious, but no one can see it, so they can hide it. But then the ones who have conditions where you can't hide it, and it's like, oh man, it's like, what am I going to do? It's right here. Everyone's looking at me, because I know how that feels. And I just really admire, one, your strength, but your positivity and your spirit. I love it. Like, your spirit is so awesome. And if we could all just have like an ounce of your happy, positive spirit, like, we would be we'd be better off. So I just want to thank you for coming and sharing that with us. To our viewers out there who are listening, please share this with someone, and just to encourage them and show them that there's so much more that you can do, and that your condition or disability does not have to disable you. It can actually push you further to what you're supposed to do. And there's so much that you can accomplish, even though you're going through, pain or suffering, and you're not alone. So I just want to encourage those people. And like she said, find someone that you can link up with, don't stay by yourself. Don't stay like down in that space. And if you are down, it's fine. But like she said, don't stay there. That's not the place where you're supposed to reside. You just visit and you leave. Okay. You have your moment and then you move on, and, just hook up with someone who's positive. And I really liked how you said that, if you're having a tough time and you're just focusing on yourself and your issues, go volunteer and serve, help someone else. It really, serving can really open your eyes to a different perspective, like you said, and to see how grateful that you are in spite of something that you may be going through. So I just encourage everyone to do that today, and share. Your story is amazing, and you are beautiful inside and out. You really are.
Amen. Amen. It's amazing. All of us are placed on this earth for a purpose. So I encourage you to go out there and intentionally pursue your purpose. If you don't know it, ask God. He will definitely let you know what
He'll
your
tell you.
purpose is. All right. Thanks again, Kacy. I really appreciate you. And I will be seeing you soon because we Trophy of Life as a part of Project 365 will be with you in your nonprofit organization to help feed the homeless. All right. Thanks again. I love you. God bless you. And we will see you tomorrow.